Hello, and welcome to the mini story lesson for the conversation Moving as a Child, Part 1. Let's get started with the story. Alex is 12 years old. He is an Army brat. His dad joined the Army before he was born. Alex and his parents had lived on the moon for 2 years. Then, out of the blue, they moved to America. Right off the bat, he hated it. The town they moved to was rural, so it was a culture shock after living on the moon. Everyone at school knew he was the new kid on the block. He did not have any friends. He really missed living on the moon. After 1 month, Alex started to play Little League sports. Then he made some friends. Soon, he was feeling settled in. Now Alex really likes living in America, and he does not miss living on the moon anymore. Okay, so that's the end of the story. Now I'm going to read the story again, and this time I will ask you some questions. You can answer the questions out loud, and you can always pause your computer or iPod if you feel like you need a little more time to think before you answer the questions. And if you just feel like listening and not answering the questions, well, that's fine as well. Okay, let's get started. Alex is 12 years old. How old is Alex? 12 years old. Alex is 12 years old. Who is 12 years old? Alex. Alex is 12 years old. Is Alex or Andy 12 years old? Alex is. Alex is 12 years old. How many years old is Alex? Is he 12 or 15 years old? 12. Alex is 12 years old. He is an Army brat. What is he? An Army brat. He is an Army brat. Is he an Army brat or a plumber? An Army brat. He is an Army brat. Who is an Army brat? Is Alex an Army brat? Yes, he is. Alex is an Army brat. Are his parents in the military? Yes, they are. He is an Army brat, which means that his parents are in the military. And by the military, we mean the Army, or the Navy, or the Air Force, or the Marines. Does his family move a lot because they are in the military? Yes, they do. He is an Army brat. And to be an Army brat means that your parents are in the military and you move around a lot. And that you are a child. Or that you are younger, let's say. So when we say he is an Army brat, that means he has parents who are in the military and that they move around a lot as a result of them being in the military. His dad joined the Army before he was born. Did his dad join the Army before he was born? Yes, he did. His dad joined the Army before he was born. What did his dad do? He joined the Army. His dad joined the Army. Did his dad join the army or go to college? He joined the army. His dad joined the army. Who joined the army? His dad. His dad joined the army. Did Alex join the army? No, Alex didn't join the army. He's only 12 years old. He can't join the army yet. Did his dad join the army? Yes, he did. His dad joined the army. Whose dad joined the army? Alex's. Alex's dad joined the army. Did Alex's dad or Alex's mom join the army? His dad. His dad joined the army. What did his dad join? Did he join the Navy or the Army? The Army. He joined the Army. When did he join the Army? Well, he did it before Alex was born. He joined the Army before Alex was born. Did he join the Army last week? No, not last week. He joined it before Alex was born. Did he join the Army before Alex was born? Yes, he did. He joined the Army before Alex was born. Alex and his parents had lived on the moon for 2 years. Had Alex and his parents lived on the moon for 2 years? Yes, they did. Alex and his parents had lived on the moon for 2 years. Who had lived on the moon? Had Alex's grandmother lived on the moon? No, it wasn't Alex's grandmother. Had Alex lived on the moon? Yes, he had. Alex had lived on the moon. Had Alex's father lived on the moon? Yes, he had too. Had Alex's mother lived on the moon? Yes, she did. Alex and his parents had lived on the moon. So his mother had lived on the moon, his father had lived on the moon, and Alex as well had lived on the moon. Where had they lived? On the moon. They had lived on the moon. Had they lived on a farm? No, not a farm. Had they lived on the moon? Yes, they had lived on the moon. How long had they lived on the moon? 2 years. They had lived on the moon for 2 years. Had they lived on the moon 2 years or 11 days? 2 years. They had lived on the moon for 2 years. Had they lived on the moon for 2 or 7 years? 2. They had lived on the moon for 2 years. Had Alex and his parents lived on the moon for 2 years? Yes, they had. Alex and his parents had lived on the moon for 2 years. Then, out of the blue, they moved to America. Did they move to America out of the blue? Yes, they did. Out of the blue, they moved to America. Did they move to America suddenly? Yes, they moved to America out of the blue, which means that they moved to America suddenly. Did they move to America unexpectedly? Yes, they did. They moved to America out of the blue. And out of the blue means suddenly and unexpectedly. Did they expect to move to America? No, they did not. It was out of the blue, which means they did not expect to move. Who moved to America? Alex and his parents. Alex and his parents moved to America. Did Alex and his parents move to America out of the blue? Yes, they did. They moved to America out of the blue. Did Alex and his parents move to America suddenly and unexpectedly? Yes, they moved to America out of the blue, which is the same as saying they moved to America suddenly and unexpectedly. Out of the blue means suddenly and unexpectedly. Where did they move? To America. They moved to America. Did they move to France? No, they didn't move to France. Did they move to America? Yes, they did. They moved to America. Did they move to America out of the blue? Yes, they did. They moved to America out of the blue. They moved to America suddenly and unexpectedly. Right off the bat, he hated it. Did he hate it right off the bat? Yes, he did. He hated it right off the bat. Did he hate it right away? Yes, he did. He hated it right off the bat, which is the same thing as saying he hated it right away. Right off the bat means right away. Did he hate it immediately? Yes, he did. He hated it right off the bat, which is the same as saying he hated it immediately. Right off the bat means right away or immediately. Who hated it? Alex. Alex hated it. Did Alex or Andy hate it right off the bat? Alex. Alex hated it right off the bat. Did Alex hate it immediately? Yes, he did. He hated it right off the bat, which is the same as saying he hated it immediately. What did he hate? Did he hate living in America or flying to the moon? Living in America. He hated living in America. Did Alex hate living in America right off the bat? Yes, he did. Right off the bat, he hated it. He hated living in America right off the bat. Did Alex hate living in America right away? Yes, he did. He hated it right off the bat, which is the same as saying he hated it right away. The town they moved to was rural. Did they move to a town that was rural? Yes, they did. They moved to a town that was rural. What was rural? Well, the town they moved to. The town they moved to was rural. Was the town that they moved to rural? Yes, it was. The town that they moved to was rural. Did the town that they moved to have a lot of farmland? Yes, it did. It was rural, which is the same thing as saying it had a lot of farmland. Rural means it had a lot of farmland. Did they move to a city? No, they didn't move to a city. A city doesn't have a lot of farmland. A city is not rural. What was rural? Was New York rural? No, New York is definitely not rural. It is a big city. Was the town that they moved to rural? Yes, it was. The town that they moved to was rural. Did the town that they moved to have a lot of farmland? Yes, it did. The town that they moved to was rural, which is the same thing as saying the town that they moved to had a lot of farmland. Rural means it has a lot of farmland. So it was a culture shock after living on the moon. Was it a culture shock? Yes, it was. It was a culture shock. Was it uncomfortable? Yes, it was uncomfortable for them. It was a culture shock, which means that it was not comfortable. Was it a culture shock for him because the people were different than the people who live on the moon? Yes, it was. It was a culture shock, which means that it was uncomfortable when he went to another place because the people were different than the people from where he came from, which was the moon. So it was a culture shock. It was uncomfortable for him because the people were different than the people that he used to know on the moon. What was a culture shock? Was living in a rural town a culture shock? Yes, it was. Living in a rural town was a culture shock. And probably living in America was a culture shock after living on the moon. Did living in a rural town make them feel uncomfortable? Yes, it did. It was a culture shock, which means that they were uncomfortable. Did living in a town that had a lot of farmland make them feel uncomfortable? Well, they said that they moved to a rural town, so it was like a culture shock. So they were uncomfortable living in a rural area, and a rural area has a lot of farmland. So living in a town that had a lot of farmland made them feel uncomfortable or made them feel like it was culture shock. Everyone at the school knew he was the new kid on the block. Did everyone at school know that he was the new kid on the block? Yes, they did. Everyone at school knew that he was the new kid on the block. Did everyone at school know that he was new to the area? Yes, that's correct. They knew he was the new kid on the block, which means that they knew he was new to the area, or he was new to the school. When you're the new kid on the block, that means that you are new, and you've not been there before. So he was new to the area, or he was new to the school. He was the new kid on the block. What did everyone at school know? Well, they knew that he was the new kid on the block. Who knew? Everyone at school. Everyone at school knew. Who was the new kid on the block? Alex. Alex was the new kid on the block. Was Alex the new kid on the block? Yes. Yes, he was. Alex was the new kid on the block. Was Alex new to the school? Yes, he was. He was the new kid on the block. He was new to the school. Being the new kid on the block means that you are new to the area, or in this case, new to the school. Did only some people at school know that Alex was the new kid on the block? No. Everyone knew, not just some people. Everyone at school knew that he was the new kid on the block. He did not have any friends. Did he have any friends? No, he didn't. He did not have any friends. How many friends did he have? Well, he did not have any friends, so that means he had 0 friends. He had none. Who did not have any friends? Alex. Alex did not have any friends. Did he not have any friends or not have a bicycle? Friends. He did not have any friends. Did Alex have any friends? No, he did not. He did not have any friends. He really missed living on the moon. Did he really miss living on the moon? Yes, he did. He really missed living on the moon. Who really missed living on the moon? Alex. Alex really missed living on the moon. Did Alex or his mother really miss living on the moon? Alex. Alex really missed living on the moon. What did he miss? Well, he missed living on the moon. Did he miss his grandmother or living on the moon? Living on the moon. He missed living on the moon. Where did he miss living? On the moon or on a farm? On the moon. He missed living on the moon. After 1 month, Alex started to play Little League sports. Did Alex start to play Little League sports? Yes, he did. Alex started to play Little League sports. What did Alex start to do? To play Little League sports. He started to play Little League sports. Did he start to ride his bicycle or start to play Little League sports? Play Little League sports. He started to play Little League sports. Did he start to play sports on a team with other children? Yes, he did. He started to play Little League sports, which is the same thing as saying he started to play sports on a team with other children. Little League sports are a group of sports teams for children. Who started to play Little League sports? Alex. Alex started to play Little League sports. When did he start to play Little League sports? After 1 month. After 1 month, Alex started to play Little League sports. Did he start to play after 1 year or 1 month? 1 month. After 1 month. After how many months did he start to play? 1. After 1 month. Did he start to play Little League sports after 1 or 3 months? 1. After 1 month. Did he start to play sports on a team with other children after 1 month? Yes, he did. After 1 month, he started to play Little League sports. And Little League sports are a group of sports teams for children. So he started to play sports on a team with other children after 1 month. Then he made some friends. Did he make some friends? Yes, he did. He made some friends. What did he do? He made some friends. Did he ride his bicycle or make some friends? Make some friends. He made some friends. Who made some friends? Alex. Alex made some friends. Did Alex or his mother make some friends? Alex did. Alex made some friends. Did Alex make a cake or make some friends? He made some friends. Alex made some friends. Soon he was feeling settled in. How was he feeling? Settled in. Soon he was feeling settled in. Was he feeling settled in? Yes, he was. He was feeling settled in. Was he feeling adjusted to living there? Yes, he was. He was feeling settled in, which is the same thing as saying he was feeling adjusted to living there. Settled in means being adjusted to. Was he feeling uncomfortable living there? No, he was feeling settled in. Settled in does not mean uncomfortable. Who was feeling settled in? Alex. Alex was feeling settled in. Was Alex or Andy feeling settled in? Alex. Alex was feeling settled in. Was Alex feeling used to living there? Yes. Yes, he was. He was feeling settled in, which means he was feeling used to living there, or he had felt adjusted to living there. Settled in means being used to or being adjusted to. Now Alex really likes living in America. Does Alex really like living in America? Yes, yes he does. He really likes living in America. Does Alex hate living in America? No, he doesn't hate it. He really likes it. Who really likes living in America? Alex. Alex really likes living in America. Does Alex like living in America just a little? No, he really likes living in America, which means he likes it a lot. Does Alex like living in America a lot? Yes, he does. He really likes living in America. He likes it a lot. Where does Alex really like to live? In America. He really likes living in America. Does Alex really like to live in Paris? No, not Paris. Does Alex really like to live in America? Yes, he does. Alex really likes living in America. He really likes to live in America. And he does not miss living on the moon anymore. Does he miss living on the moon? No, he does not miss living on the moon anymore. Who doesn't miss living on the moon? Alex. Alex does not miss living on the moon. What does he not miss? Living on the moon. He does not miss living on the moon. Does Alex still wish he lived on the moon? No, he doesn't. He doesn't miss it anymore. Why doesn't Alex miss living on the moon? Well, because he really likes living in America now, so he no longer misses living on the moon. Okay, so we've come to the end of our story, and that means we are now at the end of the mini story lesson for the conversation Moving as a Child, Part 1. Now it is your turn to tell the story by yourself. Remember, you do not need to memorize every word, but you should use the idioms and the vocabulary words that we went over in the story. So those are Army Brat, Out of the Blue, Right Off the Bat, Rural, Culture Shock, New Kid on the Block, Little League Sports, and Settled In. Now remember, you can listen to this lesson as many times as you need to in order to feel that you know the idioms and the vocabulary words well enough. So now please tell the story by yourself. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.